Bring you an Expo 88 update shortly. You might remember the call out that we put to you at the beginning of the year when we were on the hunt for those statues, those white statues. You might remember from Expo 88. We wanted to find them for you because one gentleman was trying to take them out of storage and put them back on public display, and you helped locate a whole host of these statues. And as a result, we now have a new Expo 88 art trail, but there are still some holes that need plugging. So you might be able to help out again this afternoon, help keep the Expo 88 dream alive. So don't go anywhere. I'm keen to keep taking your call. 88 and the rain that we've had was happening. Maybe it did. The reason why 1988 is significant is because that is the year that Brisbane welcomed the world. We hosted Expo 88. It changed Brisbane forever. Left behind some pretty cool artworks. Peter Rasey has made it his mission to track down all of the missing pieces of art from Expo 88 and to create a special dedicated Expo 88 art trail. But there's still a few things missing. Peter Rasey, good afternoon. What are you on the hunt for?
Good afternoon, Kat. And yes, actually, there was an incredible rainstorm before Expo 88 opened, and it caused all sorts of havoc to the gardens, to cementing in vital sculpture works and all sorts of different things. So Expo actually did suffer its fair bit of serious wet weather. But to answer your question in particular, can I say personally a really great thank you to you, because that first show that we did, within an hour of that going to air, the Premier's department, as I understand it, had contacted the Lord Mayor's office and had offered the drover and his mate, which was at the old Sunmap building. The council now have that in their possession. The media really picked up on the idea of saving the artwork, and we now have, courtesy of IBM, the Sad Clown, an anonymous donation, again courtesy of your radio station that afternoon, and the follow-up, clown bending over backwards, which is a 3-metre long statue. Absolutely incredible. And the Lord Mayor has promised me that that is on his to-do list to get that recast. It's on its death legs, the poor thing. There is the American photographer, News Corp. Again, another Queensland government institution, Stadiums Queensland, has donated the skater.
Ah, right, great.
Yep, so that is saved.
Now. Excellent.
Absolutely. Again, one of our discussion points. Scouts Queensland, they're going to loan the saluting scout, and that will be recast and go up at Scouts Place at Kangaroo Point, and that will be just an iconic bit of kit. You know, 1982, 75 years of scouting celebration added into that, this saluting scout. However, one of the things SEQ Building Services have at Cannon Hill, the Sculptor it's called. I always thought it was called the Miner. And I have been trying to get some engagement from the management on site to get them to donate it into the mix. You know, at the moment there are 24 items in the Expo 88 art trail. Mm-hmm. The Lord Mayor has busted his boiler in getting all these things done and up for the 30th anniversary. Great job. But there are now another 8 items because of the show of airtime like this now to be added in. All those ones I've just mentioned before, the saluting scout, the skater, American photographer, the drover and his mate, none of those are on display yet. And so there's, you know, we've really had a successful 6 months of saving this artwork. And I'm on a mission now to try and save the Sculptor from Cannon Hill. It's facing the western sun.
So
it's
where
not
is
in
it
the
exactly?
best location.
Where is it exactly in Cannon Hill right now?
Building Services have a substation at Cannon Hill. It's in Di Farmer's electorate, and it is something that really should be saved and recast and go back up onto public display. Now, I've spoken to the Deputy Mayor, Adrian Schrinner, in relation to placing it in the new metro, in an underground station. I mean, how classic. You've got this person that looks like a miner, that it looks like they've just put down their jackhammer, and it is just a wonderful location. And Adrian agrees with me. And, you know, I've reached out and touched Di Farmer's office. Wonderful lady, wonderful Queensland minister, and I'm hoping that she will come on board, because the Premier's office, I mean, we really wouldn't have gotten where we are today without their help and assistance. So, I'm just doing a public on-air curry up the old fire.
Little wink, wink, nudge, nudge.
Exactly right.
Say no more, say no more, say no more. Peter Rasey is your guest this afternoon on ABC Radio Brisbane. Now, Pete has been working with you, the community, with media outlets, with private owners, with government organisations to try and get together this Expo 88 art trail to keep the memory of Expo 88 alive. This is, of course, the 30th anniversary year. Were it October 1988, we would have been in almost the last week,
days.
Last days of Expo 88. Maybe you were there.
And how's this, Kat? On the 28th of this month, the unveiling will occur of the big Australian signs, Kendone signs. And on the 26th, I understand that the ABC has a bit of a role.
Look, you're good at this. That's right. So ABC Radio Brisbane's breakfast team, that's Craig and Rebecca, will be broadcasting from the Caboolture Historic Village on Friday, October 26th. This is all part of the 30th anniversary closing weekend of Expo. So they'll be unveiling the Australia signs that were used during Expo 88 and launching a new permanent tribute to Expo.
And I reckon that those signs going into the Caboolture Historical Village will see an equivalent of Sovereign Hill in Victoria start up in Queensland. That's how important I think those signs are. I mean, the donations that have been coming into them of tea towels and caps and all the rest of it is one thing. They've got hundreds of those. But I've been able also to collect for them the two original Expo 88 searchlights. They're a metre by a metre by a metre. They're monstrous. A couple of flood-affected floodlights as well. And the Lord Mayor, bless his soul, had some not quite acceptable Artbuster statues out of their collection, and they've been loaned in part to the Caboolture Historical Village. Another one's going up to Kingaroy, where we've got another narrative going, and in time we'll also have some go out to Longreach, where the drover around the campfire, that classic statue from Expo 88 that was in front of the Primary Industries building has now been relocated up to Longreach, and it's just going to really establish another major tourist attraction for people going to Longreach to have a look. And the Lord Mayor has agreed that, okay, one of our leftover bodies from the recasting efforts in Brisbane we'll place up in Longreach into the Powerhouse Museum. They've got a Powerhouse Museum, somewhat smaller than the big Powerhouse Museum in New South Wales. But it's all about getting the narrative going of Expo 88 right throughout Queensland. So we'll have something in Billawheeler, Longreach, Kingaroy, Blackbutt and Caboolture.
Magic, keeping the Expo magic alive. Peter Rasey, before I let you go, if you know someone that's got some memorabilia, or you're sitting at home listening thinking, gosh, I've got a stack of Expo stuff, is there any place that can go? What would you say? Where do we take it?
The Caboolture Historical Village, and if anyone just does a web search, they have now Expo 88 House. And it's an old Masonic building, and it is now chock-a-block full of the rafters of people's either loaned or gifted donations. But it's just a drop in the bucket to the thousands and thousands of different things that were at Expo 88. I mean, it was really a seminal moment for Queensland. But as important as we think it is, you won't believe this, Kat, we're not featured in the Shanghai World Expo Museum.
Brisbane isn't?
Not mentioned, not featured, because we're a minor expo.
There's a new project for you.
No, well, yes, that's something in the realms of the Lord Mayor. But I mean, we're putting down the platform, the World Expo 88 Art Trail, and there's one more major piece called the Paradigm, which the Brisbane City Council has in storage, which is a 100-foot high a stainless steel sculpture. Did have 66 aircraft landing lights in it. First computerised controlled lighting system of any sculpture in the world. First sculpture ever made with the aid of a computer. A magical bit of kit. quite expensive to refurbish and put back up. And one of my missions is that I'm hoping that the platform that we put down for the Expo 88 Art Trail sees that piece come back up, because it is equivalent, in my mind, to an Eiffel Tower or a Sun Sphere out of Knoxville, the Seattle Sky Needle, and all those places are now doing major refurbishments to get themselves better recognised in the Expo World Tourism Circuit, which is up and going since Shanghai opened up their amazing museum.
Brilliant. Peter Rasey, well, if our Eiffel Tower is sitting in storage, I'm sure you're the man to bring it out. Thank you so much for popping by to give us an update on Expo 88 and how we can keep that memory alive. You've been working very hard, tirelessly, in fact, so it's always a wonderful pleasure to have you along. Peter Rasey, thank you for your time this afternoon.
Thank you.